All right, welcome back to War Unending. My name is Jay. I am the host of this little podcast where I play a Warhammer game against a friend of mine, and then we talk about it afterwards because we can't show the actual thing due to Games Workshop wanting to kill us. I don't mean that. That's a joke. That's non-actionable. Anyway, my host today is Wayne. Hi, Wayne.
Hi, I'm the host.
You're a co-host.
Gross.
Yes,
That's a
it is.
mistake.
Look, I'm just filling out your white person's destiny of like being on multiple podcasts.
That's a horrible thing to say to me, but I deserve it.
Yeah. I think it's really funny that podcast that like starting a podcast became a joke about like a thing white people do because it's
I
true.
mean,
That is what we do.
yeah, you might be an outlier. Podcast George, who lives in a cave and has started 10,000 podcasts, is, yeah.
Maybe they
How
shouldn't
many,
have counted him. Maybe they shouldn't have counted him.
well, yeah. How many spiders do you eat?
Um, hopefully zero.
Well, they say you eat 8 in your sleep every.
I think that's fucked.
Yeah. Well, that's
Anyway,
okay. You just did not get the post I was referencing. This has
no,
all been a mistake. Speaking of mistakes, let's get into this game we played.
So this week,
Which
the armies were Eldar Harlequins versus
mhm.
Dark Angels,
Dark
uh,
Angels, Deathwing.
Deathwing specifically. On
Very
screen,
specifically, very specifically Deathwing.
on screen right now should be our lists. Normally we just let y'all look at it, but Wade here wants to talk about his list, so I'm gonna let
So,
him do that.
so here's the thing. When you think of honorable, loyal knights of the Imperium, you probably think about Black Templars.
Or Imperial Knights, because they have Knight in the name.
Or you think about Grey Knights. But eventually you will get to the point of, oh right, Dark Angels. They're the knight guy. They're the knight Space Marines. I like Dark Angels. And I especially like Terminators. Terminators are the most associated with the... Well, actually they're most associated with the Blood Angels if you're a Space Hulk fan. Or Grey Knights if you like Grey Knights. But eventually, again, third
No,
perpetual...
hold on. They're
What?
associated with Grey Knights if you like really short people.
Hey, that's a
Sorry.
touchy subject to bring up right now, okay?
I,
As
I,
we exist in a world before the new Space Marine stuff has been fully revealed for 11th edition, but after Grey Knights got an upgrade sprue for the model in their range nobody really likes.
I
Like,
love
that's a
that model.
touchy...
You take that
You have
back.
bad taste. You have bad taste. You're a bad person, and you're rubbing salt in the wound of a very maligned faction for 10th edition.
I'm sorry that I think
You're
the
stepping into a
baby
quagmire as I talk about the fact that the First Legion is everyone's third pick for Knight Space Marines and for Terminators. But
Look,
I like Deathwing Terminators a lot. I
I'm
also
sorry.
don't stop interrupting me as I try to justify this stomping I'm about to receive. Because
I'm
listen,
just I'm just trying to say. I'm just trying to say. I just think the baby carrier is funny. That's all I'm trying to
you
say.
can't
See,
get over this. You're the only. You're so obsessed. You're like, I'm trying to justify myself here. Because listen, okay, we're gonna have to edit this now because you've thrown me off my groove. Guards, guards.
uh,
As I was
anyway,
saying before this elf threw off my groove, I really like Deathwing Terminators. I also really don't like reading through the rules of an army before I make my list. If I'm just practicing, I just want to pick the units I like. I don't like a lot of Primaris units. So a lot of the best options for Space Marines I just kind of ignored because I was like, oh, I don't want to take Primaris Reavers. Gross. I don't want to take Scouts in a Deathwing army. I want cool Terminators. So that is why I took 30 of them. This was apparently a mistake because I took mostly the Terminator units that aren't even very good. Apparently Deathwing Knights are just a lot better. Should have taken more of them. You'll see that later on. And that's only the first of the mistakes I made in this game. But I think we need to look at deployment for the main one. Maybe not the
Yeah.
main one, but my deployment was terrible. I also completely forgot about teleport homers. Every
Uh,
unit has a teleport homer in this game for me, and I placed none of them.
oh my god, you did forget those!
Yeah, you didn't even notice because I I just noticed halfway through the game and didn't mention it because it was far too late. But yeah, not a single teleport homer was placed by a guy running 30 Terminators.
I... Wow. That was a big oversight that I forgot about because I usually don't play Space Marines.
Yeah, so do I. Well, so don't I. So yeah,
Orc player.
completely forgot about that pre-game thing. Even as I double and triple checked, I had no pre-game stuff to do.
Can I just
Totally
say
forgot
real
about the
quick?
teleport homers. My positioning was horrible.
Can I just say real quick? I think it's just so funny that you hate Primaris with the passion of like a 45-year-old that like grew up on like the funny like first edition stuff.
Well, it's not that I hate Primaris as a concept. Mostly, I just don't think the models look very good. I, I'm playing Dark Angels because I like the old-fashioned sort of knights in space look. I like the old chunky armor. That's my preferred aesthetic for Space Marines. And Primaris just don't really hit that for me.
That's fair. I just wanted to make a joke about your about you bringing up how much you don't like Primaris. That's all.
Well, like everybody who doesn't like Primaris, I have to sneak it into every conversation about 40k, or they come and revoke my Grognard card.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, just on my side of things, real quick, backing up to talking about armies. I this is my first time ever building Harlequins, and I think hitting things with blobs of like 12 bodies that can do like 50 melee hits and have devastating wounds is pretty fun. Um, that's all I really have to say about it. Wayne, before we get into talking about how this game went, other than the deployment, which should be on screen right now, how do you feel about the game? How do you feel about it?
I feel like I could go back and make a better list now that I've played with them and seen what I liked. Like I
Okay.
said, the Deathwing Knights, quite good. Inner Circle Companions, solid, but they got kind of wiped out because of some of their early engagements just knocked them down. So I really think I learned a lot about the faction just from playing this and seeing what stomps on them.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Cool. All right. So, deployment should still be on screen, and let's start talking about how this game went. Wayne, because I'm struggling to find it in this footage right now. Do you remember who went first? I think it was me.
You went first, that was the main thing is you won both roll-offs. So I
Yes.
deployed first badly. You went first quite well, and before I could even do anything, a bunch of clowns were halfway across the board.
That is true.
I did
Oh, yeah.
put
Oh, sorry.
I did
There
put
you go.
2 units of my Terminators in Deep Strike. So
Yes.
I started with a sizable chunk. I started with 12. I started with 24 models off the board.
And three, or sorry, no, like 8 on the board and 3 of them in transport.
Right, except four of them
Four,
in the
four,
transport. So
right.
it really was just uh it really was just a Land Raider, the Dreadnought, and Belial with his Deathwing Knights that were on the table when we started.
Yeah.
So you got to push up your guys very far, very fast. They're elves, they're
Yeah.
Harlequins. They have more movement than my Land Raider.
Yeah. I kind of focused the Dreadnought because it was kind of the only thing in a position I could focus on, and that Land Raider was just a bit tougher than what I could feasibly handle because I for some reason left my one of my Void Weavers, I think. I can't remember what they're called. It's either the Void no, the Star Weaver is the transport, so the Void Weaver. I left
Right.
one of them back on the my home point just because I didn't have sticky objectives, and I kind of just shot the Brutalis down really far with what I could, and
Yeah,
then
it was positioned very poorly. So for your shooting phase, you just got to blast it. I think it will. We're still in the movement footage I'm looking at, but I believe we're going to see it die in this first turn on your first activation.
yeah, because immediately after movement and after all my shooting, I got my solitaire as close as I could, and then I charged it when it was at like 2 health just to make sure it died. And believe it or not, the funny named character for the Harlequins actually just killed the dreadnought. It was able to do 2 damage against it.
Actually, I push up my glasses. Solitaires are explicitly not named characters. That's kind of their whole thing.
New Recruit lists them as an epic hero slash
They
named
are an
character.
epic hero because they are a distinct thing, but a solitaire is just like a edgy loner Harlequin who is. They're the ones who are allowed to play Slanesh in their plays. So enough about clown lore. The point is, this dreadnought was positioned horribly. I wanted to push him up into the central objective to be, a strong front line, but because I lost both roll-offs and positioned him very poorly, not in cover, he got removed early. Yeah. And that's another thing you mentioned, not having sticky objectives, and that was the thing both of us had to deal with.
Yeah.
I don't have them either. You didn't have them. The issue was I somehow brought a Space Marines list that was far more elite than Harlequins, which feels wrong to me.
That is kind of weird now that you mention it, but also it is just a bunch of Terminators. Also, I'm realizing again watching his footage that you just didn't have anything on your back point.
No, I positioned nothing there. I wanted to push up. I was really wanting to be aggressive and push into the center and then drop in some Terminators from deep strike from behind. That plan didn't end up working out because you were able to push up just so much more aggressively, quickly, that I was almost immediately on the back foot. Especially, you'll see later on, I start deep striking that had some issues there.
Yeah. A big thing that I learned playing this game, because again, this was the first time I used Harlequins, was just that, like, Eldar are fast. Harlequins are real fast.
Right, they are. I don't think you've looked at Drukhari much, have you?
I actually have been looking at them recently just because my local like Warhammer store had a Yvrain in stock, and I got the model. I'm like, I can run the Yanari detachment now, and it's like, what do Drukhari do?
Right. Well, they are fast and aggressive, and it feels like every Eldar faction is that to some extent, but it's basically a gradient. Craft worlds to Harlequins, I believe.
Yeah.
Not really an Eldar player myself.
Wayne famously hates elves.
We just dropped a marker for.
Oh yeah, we're on your turn now. Yeah.
We're on to my turn. This is where one thing comes into play. I have the Deathwing Assault enhancement on one of the captains in Terminator armor, which is why I'm about to deep strike in here in the reinforcement step of first moves.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, this was actually a pretty good play here. I think I stand by this more or less. It hasn't come up yet because I do that last, obviously after everybody else is active.
Yeah. I will say also, just because we didn't mention it, and I will have it on screen with the approximation of the game I have up, but Oath of Moment was put on my Solitaire, which is the most out in the open unit now. Oh, I didn't hear you say Solitaire, my bad.
Right, sorry. So I'm moving things up. I pushed Belial into cover with his knights. Goal was to get him in position to charge Solitaire if it came to that. But I'm also moving faffing around a lot in this footage we're watching.
Here. I think you were yelling at Nolly about chain fists at this point.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. We had an observer who was judging me for taking chain fists over the normal power fists. Clearly, they don't understand the cool factor of a chainsaw fist and the fact that it has anti-vehicle 4. Okay, that's my anti-tank option for this game. Ignore the fact that almost none of these are actually vehicles. They're almost all mounted.
Yeah.
I put this list together before I knew what I would be facing, and in addition to many, many fundamental errors in list creation, I brought chain fists. We move up the Land Raider Satyr here.
Yeah.
This has a unit of Inner Circle companions accompanied by Asmodai in it. And this unit was... Oh, right, yeah, sorry, I had it backwards. I moved them back to the objective. They started in cover. Right. I thought I already activated them. So
yeah,
Asmodai and the Inner Circle companion. Yes, onto the objective, so I would actually get points. Pretty good move there. One of few in this game. Asmodai and the Inner Circle companions were meant to be assassins. I really wanted them as like small unit of character killers. And again, part of it was get them to the front lines. That's why they're in the Land Raider. Didn't really plan on the front lines coming back to us, but it worked out, or so I thought.
Yeah, so they deployed right in front of my Solitaire, and because of the Land Raiders, it's a character, and because of the Land Raider having what is it like assault ramp? Thank you.
Yeah, they can charge him. That's gonna be that would be great, but we'll see in the fight phase where the error lies, which is Solitaire's only 4 wounds, doesn't look like much. But they have big main character energy.
Which makes sense. But just to kind of jump ahead a little bit, this is where Wayne shot the Solitaire to death with all the things in front of it. And then I brought it back at the end of the phase using, I think it was Feigned Death, or what was it called? Hold on. There was a stratagem.
Your list open for this?
I have my list open, but it doesn't list stratagems because New Recruit wants you to pay for that. That's why I'm opening up my totally... I mean, I do have the codex, it's just not in front of me right now.
It's in the footage. Oh, no.
No, that's yours.
I'm watching the footage and we're jumping around a lot in this.
Stage death.
Oh, that makes sense. That's a funny kind of... here comes the deep strike. So, pop them in the back here. I probably could have slid them over a little more, just to keep them out of range of that unit of Harlequins up there. You can see the Ancient in Terminator armor and the Captain in Terminator armor are both pretty clearly visible to them. It didn't end up making much of a difference, but...
Oh wait, I can just use the familiar system that that Foundry has to represent the attached units. Never mind, continue. Sorry, I was just trying to figure out how to actually represent the captain and stuff on the thing, because I haven't actually started editing these videos yet.
That's fine. Yeah. So we deep strike them back there, find your void. Edit over whatever I said with the right name for the unit in the most jarring way possible.
I'll just like occasionally in the background have like you saying the wrong name echoing.
Yeah, I'll have embarrassed myself totally by misnaming one unit in an army I don't play instead of embarrassing myself totally by getting blown off the board here soon.
Look, it's okay. It's okay. Just remember, you killed the solitaire. You blasted them off the board, and they
Well,
came
let's
back like
see.
2 seconds later with stage death.
That I believe that's about to happen.
Yeah.
We're watching. I think we go over to the shooting phase.
I'm skipping ahead a bit just because we're not watching the entire 2 hour footage because that'd be insane.
Yeah, especially because a lot of that was me raging at somebody who knows what they're doing, trying to backseat me. The audacity.
Nolly tried to help you turn your list of pure Terminators into something that might be effective.
Well, if they had done that before I made the list, I still wouldn't have listened.
That's fair. I have to say, I feel kind of bad about you putting everything into the solitaire because I mean, sure you got. Wait, did you have assassinate as one of your
I
secondaries?
did not. My secondaries they were focused on getting into. We'll probably see them when we get to the end of the round here.
Yeah.
But I had the one where you want an enemy, you want a unit entirely in the deployment zone of your enemy, which I got with strike there,
Yeah.
and one where you get rewarded for taking objectives your enemy had.
All right. Storm hostile objectives and
Those,
behind enemy lines.
thank you. Yeah, those were both actually really good choices. I feel
Yeah.
because obviously I was able to get the first one hit in the first turn. Deep strike. I could just deep strike there, as long as we're not wrong about that. You can deep strike into the deployment zone. Against that.
As far as we know, that's something you can do as long as you're 9 inches away and or
If
6 inches depending on the unit.
if our play group's been doing that wrong, and you cannot deep strike into the deployment zone of your enemy, I will eat crow on that. But I thought that was a good choice because I got it right here.
On air, I'm looking this up on air because
And then the other one, being able to take back objectives, I thought that would be a good choice because I'm the slower army here. So I'll be playing catch up on this and trying to push you off of stuff and take it. So I stand by the secondary objectives.
Yeah.
I think those are the best ones I could have taken this specific matchup at least.
Okay. So I googled the rule. The first thing I get is a Reddit post on Warhammer Competitive of someone talking about how they deep strike jump pack people into a deployment zone, and their opponent got really mad about it. Yes, we can do it. Strategic reserves is the one that you have to be weird about.
Right. Thank you.
So we've been doing it right.
Yeah, I'm not used to a lot of units with a deep strike, which is probably why I should have brushed up on that before I made a list of all Terminators.
Yeah. I have to say though, the shooting phase did not go super well. Other than you killed my solitaire, my void weaver survived a lot of shooting. And then your Terminators failed the charge on it.
That was annoying. That would have really helped me.
Yeah.
Because we'll see as we go that I probably should have re-rolled that, because you'll see as we go that those Terminators basically don't move an inch from that spot for the rest of this game. It's a short game, but they don't leave.
Yeah.
They don't leave that board edge because they're about to get locked down and swamped. The shooting phase went well.
That's what happens when you have like a bunch of clowns just swarming your location.
Yeah, the shooting with the Terminators makes sense. They've got storm bolters. Storm bolters are not phenomenal.
They look cool though.
Yeah, they look cool. That's why I took them. That's the mode. That is the reason to art for this entire list. Is I think they look cool, so I took them. But the Hurricane bolters get a ridiculous amount of shots when you're rapid fire range. And
that's true.
Hey, guess what was in rapid fire range? Solitaire, and then it stage deathed.
And then it came back, and then you charged it with Asmodai
and that's
your
what
killers.
We're about to see here is the charge, which charge in with Asmodai and 3 Inner Circle Companions. Inner Circle Companions are buffed when attacking character units. They're buffed when led by character units. And
Yeah.
Asmodai also wants to attack characters he forces battle shock tests. Not the best thing in the world, but if you had tried to stage death, it might have made a slight difference if you had failed the battle shock test and you had tried to stage death in the fight phase when it would have happened, but it didn't, so it kind of wasn't a thing. But the idea is we charge these in, they're re-rolling hit rolls, they're character killers, that's what they're going to do. Here's the issue. Solitaires they have fights first. Fights first. So they fight first. My guys, even though they charged, get screwed. So the Solitaire gets to make all their attacks before they get to swing one of their swords.
It didn't help Wayne also that they also had precision on their Solitaire weapons.
Yes, which precision was tough. That means that Asmodai is the one who's going to go down first here as the fighting starts. He doesn't bring the most, but the rerolls would have been nice.
Yeah.
Rerolls would have been nice. You know, him staying alive probably would have been... I don't know. Him staying alive honestly wouldn't have been as good as more of the inner circle knights surviving. He's not as good on his own as they are.
Yeah.
In fact, I honestly think inner circle companions are good enough without a character leading them. I know I'm in no position to be making tactical assessments considering how badly you're about to watch me lose in this game, but they are... Well... If people saw the lists, they knew what was going to happen. If you know 40k, you saw the two lists here, you knew who won this game.
Yeah.
But you know, their inner circle companions are 90 points for 3, you know, decently tough guys who have some solid melee weapons.
I think the bigger issue was just the fact that, at the end of it, this was an army that you hadn't played before, and you weren't expecting me to do my elf bullshit because I haven't used Harlequins before, but I actually read the rules for this army.
Right, that is probably the big difference maker here is you...
Yeah.
You also, you've played other Eldar. Have a little more experience in that regard. You understand how to make a good balanced list for them. I didn't care about making a good balanced list. I just want to play a bunch of Terminators because I think they're cool.
And that's completely understandable. That's why.
Right. So if you had made a list where you just played whatever you thought was cool, this might have been a more balanced game. Unfortunately, you made a decently good list, and I made... Wouldn't it be fun if I had 30 Terminators?
If it makes you feel any better, Wayne, when Emperor's Children rules get officially added to New Recruit, and I don't have to look it through my codex by hand and do actual math, I'm going to...
All the work's done for you.
Look,
millennials.
I'm bad with numbers. I'm not even a millennial.
Whatever, Zoomer.
But
kids these days won't even pull out a pencil and a piece of paper to do the basic addition that it requires to make a list in 10th edition.
I'm sorry that it's difficult for me to keep a bunch of numbers in my head together. I'm sorry.
It doesn't need to be in your head. That's what a pencil and a paper is for. Show your work. You got that yelled in your ear every day by your math teacher. Show your work. And now, when it comes time to actually use first grade mathematics, your response is, how am I supposed to track 2,000 points of models in my head? You don't. You use a calculator. You use a piece of paper. It's easy. It's never been easier.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that.
What's the problem?
The problem with that is Solitaire 9 attacks precision go. No. Yeah, no, the Solitaire wiped out Asmodai and then two of the Inner Circle companions, but unfortunately died to the last one, which it just I failed enough saving throws, aka one, for it to
Right.
kill.
Yeah, I mean, it came down to the wire. At the end of the day, that's probably a good trade for you,
Yeah.
considering the Inner Circle companions. That's 160 points of models just dead now.
How much was Asmodai?
That he's 70.
And then
He's
also
70. The Inner Circle companions are 90. So if we do our first grade math,
okay. Well, okay, I thought you meant the Inner Circle companions were 160, so I was going to add 70 to that. I'm sorry.
no. So I was doing the math for you because I know that's what your generation prefers.
I'm literally older than you.
You would never know that.
We have had this conversation of me being surprised that you're younger than me like at least 5 times. Cause I keep assuming
That's
you're like in your
because
40s.
that's because I act like a crotchety old man, and I'm doing it now to compensate for the fact that I'm getting wiped. Like I've already lost 2 units that I thought were quite important. Made several tactical blunders, and I'm still having fun because I'm playing Warhammer with my friend. Bet you didn't expect that little bit at the end.
No, you were having fun except for when Nolly would make a comment and then you would go into like a 30-minute rage.
I didn't. I didn't go into a 30-minute. I didn't go into a 30-minute rage, but I think I cannot deny that too strongly, considering the preceding few minutes of footage here, where I went into a rage over mathematics and the gimme generation because people can't even make a basic list in the easiest edition without somebody holding their hand.
Look, I'm an English major. I know words, not numbers. I'm sorry.
It's addition.
Okay. But look, okay, wait, when I say that I am really bad at remembering numbers, I could be using like this isn't like a math thing. This is like my brain like fucks up thing. I could be using a calculator and I could be like adding things together, and then like I'll be like, wait, hold on.
So do it on paper where you can show your work go back through it.
Well, that's the thing though. It's like I can like, it's a good point, but like it's like a thing where like I'll like be like, wait, did I add enough like Noise Marine like points? Did I like add all of them for the Lord Cacophonus? Like I will like I have a bad short-term memory essentially. So is the issue. Okay. That's kind of the issue. So I have a bad short-term memory. And when I say short-term, I mean like immediate short-term, where like I could be adding things together and I could be like, wait, did I add that? And I wouldn't remember.
Okay, that's fine.
It's why during our games sometimes I'll ask if I just did a thing that I did like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, that's fair. I still think I think people would benefit. I would benefit from having the book in front of me and writing down my list rather than relying on an app. Because if I had had the book in front of me, I might have thought about how bad this list is and not. And here we go. Here's the movement phase. You come in with these Harlequins.
Yeah.
To get back on the topic of things, as these Harlequins come in, they're setting up for a devastating charge. Not specifically because they're about to melee hits, not because they're going to shoot, but because they're just going to lock down those Terminators for the rest of this game.
Yeah.
I said they don't move an inch from there. I meant.
Real quick, just going back to the list thing real quick. I think another issue with like actually using the book is just as of right now, I know for a fact the points that are in that book, like on my shelf behind me, are just not going to be what they are when the actual
they're
codex
totally
comes out
gonna
in
get
like a week.
They're totally gonna get errated. It's
stupid. I kind of hate it.
It's funny. It feels weird that no army balance can survive initial contact with the community.
Yeah.
You almost wonder why they don't release all this stuff for the books sent to printers to test it out and have people play test it. But then you remember that Games Workshop never wants to give anything away for free ever.
Yeah.
Even something that probably could be. Oh, here the models dance around for a second to illustrate cover rules that we both understood.
I wasn't going to mention
just,
that because I wasn't going to show it on the approximation of the match. But yeah, no,
you should show it because there's no reason for you to touch that model.
Yeah, we spent like I think like 2 to 3 minutes trying to explain cover rules because
which we both understood entirely. By the way.
Yeah, we both understood it. We just were confused because the cover rules are kind of.
We weren't confused at all. We were both on the same page. We just felt the instinctual urge to argue about something just because we are idiots and we play tabletop games, and tabletop games are. The majority of the game is just arguing about things you both know.
Yeah.
You don't even have to.
That's pretty much what happened.
Right, you don't even necessarily have to. You don't necessarily have to disagree to argue. You can just both be saying something at each other and not listening to what the other person has to say and not understand that you're agreeing simply because you have to make it a problem.
Yeah, no, pretty much. Anyway, this is my movement phase. I'm going to approximate all my movements. I basically just kind of kept moving up the board, capturing different points. Kind of tried to make a bit of a wall here, just so Wayne couldn't move their Land Raider up too much, because that thing was kind of my biggest worry with your army.
Which is embarrassing, but factual.
Well, like, it's just, like, I only have so many anti-vehicle things. Meanwhile, like, anti-infantry and, like, devastating wounds and stuff on all of my weapons just really help me take out your Terminators. So, that's why I also focus not the Ballistus, the Brutalis Dreadnought down, because it's like, if I can get that thing out of the way, that's one major hurdle I can stop worrying about.
And I agree, the Land Raider Crusader is a good model. I was called out. I did pick it because it's the cheapest Land Raider.
I mean,
it also has exactly 2,000.
I mean, the thing is the Crusader's kind of like the one I vibe with the most because it can fit the most things in it too. Like,
yeah, that was an important consideration. I only put in it for some reason. That was just my plan. But when you're running so many Terminators, you have to consider each of those takes up the space of 2 models in a Land Raider. So having 16 means it can take 8 Terminators.
So which is unfortunate because you kept running them in groups of 12 with the ancients and the captains.
Yes, if I had thought ahead, I probably would have moved the Deathwing Knights and Belial into it.
Oh yeah,
give them a little more mobility. That probably would have worked out pretty well for me. But that would have taken up, that's 6 units, that's a dozen. That's 12. Yeah. I believe they would fit in a regular Raider in that situation. But the Land Raider Crusader also, importantly, has 6 Storm Bolters strapped to the sides of it. That's the only reason I took it. It's the 6 Storm Bolters.
Yeah.
There's another important bit of information about the Land Raider Crusader. It has, the all-important Hunter-Killer missile.
Oh yeah, the Hunter. We'll talk about that during your next shooting phase. We'll talk about that during your next shooting phase.
Yeah, that's gonna come up. We're in your shooting phase at the moment.
Currently, as of where we are here, in this match,
blasting right those Terminators in the back line.
Yeah, all of my Harlequins I moved to get within charging range started shooting at these Terminators because I wanted to whittle them down as much as possible before he got into melee. Because I didn't actually look at the melee profile for Harlequins too deeply before I ran this, but I just kind of knew I needed to keep those Terminators back. The Neurodisruptor pistols are really funny because it has anything having an anti-infantry 2-up is really funny to me.
Especially against very infantry heavy list. That was probably nice coincidence for you.
Yeah. The fusion pistols actually did a bit more than I was expecting. But you know, these are still Terminators with 4-up invuln saves, and then like 2 normal saves at the end of the day. So like I didn't do much the shooting didn't do much to actually clear the board here.
And I rolled reasonably well.
I did like 5 damage to the Land Raider, that's something.
That is something. I rolled a lot of ones in this game.
Almost as much as I rolled against Nolly last game I played.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's definitely a psychological factor where you roll a 1, just remember it more vividly than even rolling a 6 in a similar situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels so, that little snake eye just feels so insulting.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, we're going to get into how insulting that can feel in a minute. So, we're just going to skip past me shooting these Terminators because it's like 12 model shooting.
Yeah,
and then
we'll put up the stats of how many models get removed and that.
Oh no, you just made more work for me. I'm gonna do that now that you said it, but it's like shit.
You should be doing that. You should say you'll just remove the models from the screen, right? It's not more work. It's just what you're gonna do. You don't have to tally them up at the end. You just have to tick them off as you go.
Wait, oh yeah, no, because I was just going to give. I was just going to give.
You can see on the screen.
Yeah, I was just going to give each unit health bars. So okay, yeah.
Yeah, you can see on the screen how many have been removed, what the shooting was like. It's not a crazy shooting phase.
Yeah.
But it's Harlequins. They are a little more melee focused.
Which we're about to get into in this funny charge phase we're about to have, where 12 Harlequins are about to hit Wayne like
a truck.
Yeah.
A clown car. It's like a clown car pile up, yeah.
You're getting run over by a clown car with a 6-inch pile-in because of course they have that.
What a funny way to die.
Yeah. Seeing that troop masters give their units a 6-inch pile-in is crazy because it's like, oh, I could just move these all in. I could just get right up in with every single model here.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Really, when you're running this blob of elves, it's helpful.
It is very helpful.
I hate you. Who said that?
You made me. Oh my god! No, that caught me off guard. That was really funny.
Yeah, sorry, I do that a lot. Say something.
You do.
That's why you keep me around.
You're a funny dude. That's the thing. You're a funny dude.
Be nice to me.
Oh my god. Anyway, 50 Harlequin blades go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't be nice to me, because look at what you're about to do to my poor Deathwing Terminator guys, who I love. Just little guys. They're normal Space Marines. Be nice to my fascist death squads, please. Let's have some decorum.
Look, just because just because my Final Fantasy VI Kefka army did things doesn't mean I get to get hate for it.
You're gonna be able to play Kefka versus Space Marines in a couple months of Magic the Gathering. Final Fantasy Universes Beyond. Are you excited?
You're never going to get me to care about Magic the Gathering. I'm sorry.
Oh, we'll wear you down.
If Karlach getting a card that you can run as a commander didn't get me in, I don't think anything will.
The problem is, if Karlach was a better card, he might have been tempted.
I mean, I own the card because it was like $5 on one of those card trading sites. So I was like, I'm gonna get my girl. I need to get.
It's basically you basically just bought a tiny portrait of Karlach.
Here, it's a tiny statue of me. I want you to have it.
I don't want this.
Yeah, but I kind of just started tearing through Terminators. As
the melee
you do.
Phase got the fight phase was a lot better for you.
I mean, to be fair, you did take out a lot of my units when you got to fight back,
Right. I mean,
because
that's the thing is
Terminators hit hard.
we were both pretty melee heavy army. You just had more mobility, more units, better game plan, a better list,
Funnier units.
greater understanding of the rules.
Well, that part's only because I've been able to play
And
more
at this
because
point,
you've been locked into your like 12-hour a day job for like forever.
yeah, speaking of my 12-hour a day job forever, please remember to like and subscribe and share this video if you enjoy this.
So we can get Wayne out of...
me.
Yeah,
Save me.
So we can take Wayne from one terrible 12-hour a day job to another terrible 12-hour a day job, but one where you just
awesome.
play video games all day.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Like and subscribe, share this video so that Jay can pay me to get locked in a basement for 12 hours a day playing Warhammer. I would love it. And, I'm from Florida, so I've never even seen a basement.
I mean, I'm from California. I've also never seen a basement.
You don't do basements in California?
Earthquakes.
Oh, yeah.
So, I took out, like, all of your Terminators except for 3, the Captain and the Ancient. And then you took out, like, all of my Harlequins except for, like, 5 of them.
This melee was just a slugfest. It was a lot of attacks back and forth. A lot of people getting popped like bugs. Say what you will about Terminators. They're good in moderation. I probably should have just taken fewer of them.
Yeah.
And I think this, I could have positioned this a little better, but, this deep strike, I liked it.
Yeah. Now let's go on to your turn. Hey Wayne, would you like to talk about the most important thing that happened during this turn for you?
Yeah. Losing that battle shock test was a little annoying. I believe there was a stratagem I wanted to try that I just couldn't because of shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
I put the Oath of Moment marker here. It's about to go in the void. So that's something I'm about to do. There is the Dark Angels rule marking objectives as vowed targets was a thing. It didn't really come up in this game too much. I just didn't take advantage of it. I just didn't get a chance to do a lot of the rolls because none of my infantry got in range, basically.
Yeah, I kind of managed to screen you out really well.
Yeah, you screen me out super well. I see that in my second reinforcement phase where I have that other unit of Deathwing Terminators. They're still in Deep Strike. They haven't dropped in yet. And they're going to have some serious trouble.
Yeah, just because I've kind of placed things in such a way where it's just really difficult to actually get in.
It was tight. I was adjusting them a lot to not get screened.
Yeah.
So I've abandoned the objective, moved up. Oh, I forgot. Looking at the footage, I just dropped it. Every single knight fell over there. But I've actually done the thing I thought I did.
Hey, I forgot Crow put the cultists around the battlefield.
Yeah, the hidden cultists, those were funny.
Yeah.
But I actually moved up my Deathwing Knights and Belial there, trying to get the melee. Those are fun. I should run more. Deathwing Knights are... Apparently they're quite a good codex. People, I just need to get good, basically.
Yeah.
Here comes the...
Here comes the Katamari Bowl of units.
Here comes the blob of a dozen Terminators that I have to somehow sneak onto this board. It took a while. There was a lot of fidgeting. Every model was in base-to-base contact, bundled up on the edge of the board. It was super tight, and I think I got a little bit of a pity fuck on positioning just because the game had not been going my way at this point.
A little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little more than what I will say this. They were 9 inches away from all of the... They were 9 inches away from all the enemy units. They were just... Their bases were just a little bit off.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Just a
I didn't.
touch.
I didn't say anything because it was like I wanted to give you a chance. I wanted to give you a chance.
Yes, I don't think they ended up doing much, but
They
they did get deep
no.
striked in. They didn't have a lot of chance doing that. When we get into shooting, this was probably the play that sums up this game. So, the Land Raider Crusader, we've talked it up this whole video, and we mentioned the Hunter Killer Missile, or as I like to call it, Nothing Ever Happens Missile. I take a shot at the Void Weaver. It's on the central point. It's my Oath of Moment target. So, when I roll a 1 on the attack with the one-shot Hunter Killer Missile, I get to reroll it. I do. I get a 6. And I roll a 1 to wound. Nothing ever happens. I was so excited to get that reroll, and I just could not make it happen because I have never seen a Hunter Killer Missile contact.
I've seen it hit once. Once.
It's such an unlucky thing. And I needed a 2 both times. I needed a 2 to hit, got a 1. Rolled a 6 on the second. I needed a 2 to wound, and I got a 1. It was devastating, and really sums up this game for me. A lot of shots going off here at the Land Raider has a lot of guns on it. It's kind of ridiculous that it has, 5 ranged weapon profiles on it. It's not technically a dedicated transport. It is a transport.
Yeah. It's just like an all-around big, heavy tank. It kind of fucks.
It's not as... 12 toughness is a good point to have.
Yeah.
It seems to be 12 is a tough vehicle this edition.
Yeah, that's kind of because that's around what a lot of Nolly's knights were, except for the odd one that was 13.
The only real downside to it is 2-up save, no invuln save.
Yeah.
Negative.
Yeah.
You get an invuln save on this, it would be really impressive. For 220 points, a transport with assault ramp, which is fantastic. Fantastic. I like it. This is one of the few units that will survive into the second edition of this list.
The humble Land Raider.
The Brutalis Dreadnought might not.
Happy 25 years to the Land Raider.
Happy 25 years to Land Raider. I was so surprised I saw that at the time of recording. That article's a couple days old, where they go over the 25th anniversary of the Land Raider kit, and I really expected them to end it with a tease for the new one. No, I'm not sure what. I'm not sure if it's coming at this point, because it's so weird to see them announce a new drop pod of all things, but then say happy 25 years, Land Raider.
I think the thing with the drop pod is I can't understand. I'm of two minds of it, where I can kind of understand wanting a more defined footprint so that there was less rules fuckery. But at the same time, I feel like you could really have just been hey, measure from the bottom of it, not from the doors.
Everybody does
and then that's it.
Everybody does that anyway. I think the main thing with the drop pod is the kit is notoriously annoying to build, from what I've heard.
Oh, okay.
No one really likes putting the drop pod together because it's weird and loose and rattly, and it's monotonous. I don't think they've changed the monotony, since it is still a radially symmetrical model, so it's just doing the same section 5 times. But if you can just slap it together, it's not a hassle. Go for it. Yeah. I'm curious if you're going to be able to build it with the wings closed.
Yeah, because wings open, it seems like it'd be a fun kind of set piece if you're making a diorama, but
that seems to be the opinion of everybody with the drop pod. It's I don't know, I'm not going to run it game, but I'll maybe build it for a diorama. But if you wanted it for a diorama, could get a coffee cup and start putting at it with exacto knife and approximate.
Exactly. It's kind of like a Hammerfell bunker in that regard.
Yeah, it's getting two in a box is interesting. That's a new.
That is kind of weird. I don't know why you need two of them.
Maybe they're gonna change it and make the rules just a little bit more tempting. So you might want to run two. Plus, it'd be nice maybe even if you only want to run one, do it for 2 chapters if you've got 2 or something.
Okay, but why would you? Why would you have two? Why would you have 2 chapters of Space Marine?
As long as some people are weird. I don't know.
That's
or maybe fair. Or it could be chaptered Space Marines and specific.
Oh yeah, fair. But yeah, back to the game real quick, because we've been here for a minute. We've been here for a minute.
Down.
Yeah,
the game's winding down at this point. We kind of understand who's winning, but
yeah, you blew my my Void Reaver off the board, which was nice.
That was, the issue with this game was my list was so bad. There just weren't a lot of exciting plays. I know that's a horrible thing to say, but considering I'm saying it at the end of the recording, now you are really frustrated. You should get in the comments and yell at me.
Wayne really wants to be able to leave his job, just so we're clear.
Look, who wouldn't want to make their living playing Warhammer? Well,
and other tabletop games.
That's the real honeypot there. It's other tabletop games, but saving all of the controversial statements for when people have already watched so much of the video.
You say as if we didn't have an entire section that I'm probably going to cut out of us shitting on Ron DeSantis.
Oh yeah, this video is going to be short.
Yeah, no, because I'm believing what I just said in, but I'm probably going to have to cut out like the entire rant we did.
So much of this is just going to be like there's a lot of... You're going to have to cut up so much of the audio of this for it to make sense, for it to be qualified. This is going to... Well, actually, you're not going to cut the audio up. Nolly is. Hi, Nolly. Mark.
I've actually been doing the audio for these just because... Actually, no, I can make up...
yeah,
just because Nolly's busy with the Shattered Crown audio, so I was going to do the audio for these.
Make no... I want them to have to suffer through this game a second time. And try to make sense out of our nonsense ramblings as we just watch as, it's a very okay shooting phase. It's very okay. I don't think my units performed about as well as they could have, given I gave them nothing to work with.
Yeah. I will
this
say
was
that
a very Charge of the Light Brigade game for me.
I will say, during your melee phase this turn, you did manage to knock my big block of Harlequin units down to just the lead player and the troop master.
Yeah,
which
is
still 2 more Harlequins that are alive, but
Yeah, as we get into the fighting phase, I mean, that backline brawl between the big blob of Terminators and the big blob of Clowns, that resolves into them knocking each other into Kingdom Come. The leaders pop off at the end because of death of all the Terminator squads. Yeah. And that's kind of a funny thing is the Captain and Ancient are both attached. That's a rule they have where you can attach an Ancient as a second character. But as soon as the squad dies, they pop into 2 units, and I just magically qualify for the second tier of my secondary objective. Which is kind of a funny thing that happened. I definitely planned it that way. And it definitely won me this game.
Kind of off topic. Do you think I'd be able to find a royalty-free version of Send in the Clowns to play during the
Is Send in the Clowns is Send in the Clowns not already royalty-free?
Is it?
I'm pretty sure the composition is public domain. You just have to find a royalty-free recording of it.
That's what I'm saying. Is there like a way?
Yes, I'm sure you can. I mean, they have libraries of that stuff.
Well, I guess I know what
this. I'm just the talent. You're supposed to be the producer.
Well, I guess I know what I'm looking for to put in the outro of this episode.
Yeah. Is it Send in the Clowns or is it Send in the Gladiators? March of the Gladiators.
There is a song titled "Send in the Clowns." I know that much. But no, basically
sending it with clowns.
Let's just kind of wrap up where this gets. we already talked about how you split off your captain and your ancient into two units after your actual Terminators died and netted you some points. You failed the charge against my Death Jester.
Yeah, the failed
And
charge was kind of heartbreaking, but at this point, we kind of you'll see where the game ends. There's still a good amount left, but it just sort of fizzled out. I ran out of units, basically.
yeah,
I
and
had
you also
two.
have to go to work.
Well, that too, but mostly it was late. I had something I had to take care of. My units were wiped out, and it just was clear the game wasn't going to go any other way, going towards the inevitable.
It didn't
I
help
think,
that I moved my Harlequins. I've been point guarding the upper point the entire game because they had Infiltrator down to shoot your Ancient and your Terminator Captain off the board. And then also I moved back the Harlequin unit that was closing in on the upper objective to deal with your Terminators down at the bottom of the board. And kind of just locked in that other unit so they couldn't really move or do anything either. So it was at a point where you only had the Land Raider and your
yeah,
knights, and that's
this
not enough
was
to like capture the board and get over the assassination and like just point control point difference in like 2 rounds.
yes, it really did just start to fall apart. I think when I realized watching this back, in addition to my list building issues, which I don't regret, okay, I got to pop 30 Terminators on the board. I love those guys, they're so fun. But I did get screened out a lot harder than I thought I did. Watching this back, I didn't understand how much of this game was won by your positioning. And I'm starting to think those teleport homers probably would have gone over pretty well.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
having those was.
don't teleport homers have the same kind of issue Deep Strike has, where you can only use them if there's not anyone within like 9 inches of them?
Yeah, but if I had been able to just. If I had positioned those, I would have had some options. With this, I just got totally screened out. My units were locked down, basically where they started the game the whole time. I think if I were to come back to this list, redo it, I would definitely take more generic units. Just generically good Space Marine stuff to fill in some gaps. Objective control was negligible in this list. I did not have a lot of units. Or I didn't have a lot of units, and I didn't have a lot of models.
Yeah.
I had 2 big units of Deathwing Terminators, and that was a huge amount of my list. Because,
yeah.
every character that wasn't, every non-named character, every non-epic hero, that's 400 points. Plus, 400 points of my list is in Ancients and Terminator armors and Captains attached to those Deathwing Terminator squads, so they were a huge part of it, and they got to do nothing. So they just got screened out and locked down in melee.
Oh yeah, a fourth of your list, or yeah, a fourth of
Yeah.
no, a fifth, a good portion. Oh hey, there's the Harlequin thing that Crow drew on the board while we were doing this.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Yeah, I'm going to take I'm going to post a screenshot of that.
A huge amount of my list was tied up in 2 units for no good reason other than I thought it would be fun to have like a dozen Deathwing Terminators.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, they're cool units.
Yeah, they are, and they're just, I was just messing around. I wasn't even trying. My little brother made this list.
Did your little brother also really like Deathwing Terminators?
You know what? Yeah. I think it must
Oh,
run
like
in the
actually?
family.
Oh. Damn.
No, my little brother is a Space Wolves and
Let's go!
Knights type.
Oh, ew.
You're just talking up the worst unit. How do you mean you don't like Grey Knights, but you do like their ugliest model other than Calvert Draco?
My thing with Grey Knights, if just to end this on, my thing with Grey Knights is, I think they're kind of boring lore-wise, because they're just like the spacier Marines, essentially. And I think, I will admit, a lot of that does kind of carry over from me really liking the Months of Shame, because I'm a Space Wolves person. But yeah.
Your love for Space Wolves is probably the thing I hate about you the most, next to every other aspect of your personality.
Holy
But
shit.
yeah, this game ended with a concession on the behalf of the Deathwing, a
Yeah.
tactical retreat, you might say, because Space Marines never run.
They left because they realized there weren't any fallen here.
Yeah, they only showed up because they thought someone looked a little suspicious. Some 8 foot tall drifter wearing a cloak. The ever sneaky and able to blend in with the rest of the world, fallen. But they weren't here. Just a bunch of elves who kicked the crap out of them because they stepped into the wrong neighborhood.
I just realized you being a Dark Angels fan and not liking the Primaris is really funny considering when Primaris first got sent to the Dark Angels, they like tortured them and like brain like wiped them for months to make sure they weren't like spies from Gilliman or some shit.
Such a justified thing to do, by the way.
The
Everything the
Dark
Dark. Here's the thing: the Dark Angels have never done anything wrong in their life that you know of, and we're gonna keep it that way, whether you like it or not.
I like
The
that one Dark Angels.
Unforgiven will never forget.
I like that one Dark Angel story where Gilliman is coming to visit them to drop off the Primaris, and they're like a lot of the Dark Angels are like getting ready to try to fight Gilliman and shoot him down because they think he knows about the Fallen, and then the Chapter Master is like, look, bro, look, guys. If Gilliman knows already, it's already too late for us. We might as well just accept our death with like open arms. And then Gilliman comes out, is
It's
like, "Yo, have some like
have some
roided up
much
Space
needed
Marines."
have some much needed reinforcements. Yeah, what I love about it is it's such a Dexter thing. It's like every scene in Dexter is just he knows. Oh my god, they found out I'm a serial killer, and
Oh my
it's never
god.
that, and it's never that.
Oh my god. I didn't know.
Just
That's so funny. Holy shit. I might need to watch Dexter now because that sounds hella funny.
you have no idea how much I love Dark Angels. How disappointed I am that 30 Deathwing Terminators is apparently a bad list, and how bereft I am at the thought of having to add Primoris units to shore up the glaring weaknesses in my list. But it was a good game. Congrats on the clown shoes.
Thank you for the fun game. Despite the unorthodox list, I had fun, and I hope you did too.
I definitely did. We'll do it again. We'll do a rematch. And
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe these clowns will get clowned on.
Maybe. I'm also something I'm trying to do with this is I'm trying to make a list for every Eldar detachment throughout this like season, because like based on when the first episode is going to go live and just like upload schedules and stuff, it's going to end like right before 11th edition is supposed to come out. So
Oh
like
boy. The edition where Drukari will finally get a codex. And a whole
we can
new
only
range refresh.
we can only hope. We
There'll
can
be-
only hope.
Listen, this is my cope. Alright, Drukari are going to be the box art bad guys for 11th edition. They're going to get a whole range refresh.
God,
They're
please.
finally going to get some playable characters because Vect has not been playable for years, hasn't had a model in decades. He's going to be the big centerpiece character for their whole new range refresh, and you know who's coming back?
Who?
Fucking Jagatai Khan. That's going to be the bad guy. It's going to be Jagatai Khan and the White Scars versus Drukari. That's right there. It's teed up for you.
Oh, that'd
It's
be
gonna
sick
be-
as hell.
Yes, it's going to be motorcycle Mongols versus the motorcycle space elves. They're going to fight to the death at warp speed. That is my hope for 11th edition. It's not going to happen. It's
Yeah,
absolutely going to be Russ coming back because
My
they
goat,
have-
my guy.
yeah, they've already given Space Wolves so much. What's another little huge centerpiece model?
Unfortunately, they didn't give Space Wolves what real Space Wolves fans, aka just me, really want, which was they didn't give us
Tail
the wolf
plugs?
helmets. No, I'm not a fucking furry. No, they didn't give us. You know what? Hold on, I can't finish the sentence because
They did
saying I'm
give you
not a
wolf
furry.
helms.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. Doesn't one of the kits have a wolf helm?
Well, I guess the rune priest has a skeletal wolf helmet, but I don't know. Like if you look at Space Marine 2. Anyway, not the
Leave it
point.
to
We'll
a
talk about this
Space Wolf
later.
fan. Leave it to a Space Wolf fan to have their one issue with the new Space Wolf models be there's not enough wolves on them. What is wrong with you? It's all there's so many wolves.
I like them being werewolf Vikings. We're getting a lot of the Viking, not enough of the werewolf. There has to be like a balance, in my opinion. Anyway, good game, Wayne. I had fun. Is there anything you'd like to say? Is there anything you'd like to say before we sign off?
I think we've got all the audio we need. We just need to cut it up and put it in different orders.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is gonna be such a Frankenstein recording.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say is, I haven't addressed this once this episode. I've been such a good boy.
Okay.
I need to say it.
Okay.
The reason I'm looking at the camera right now.
Yeah.
So you can't tell from your end, but in the camera, I'm just gonna say it. The reason I like Dark Angels so much is that they are the gayest Space Marines. They're all gay. Dark Angels are the most gay, and that's why they're my favorite.
That's very true. Good night. With that, let's do all the YouTube pleasantries, aka, as Wayne said earlier, like, comment, subscribe. That might have been cut considering when he said it. But do it so do it so that I can pay Wayne and get them out of their terrible job eventually.
Please listen to me. You have I'm gonna do it even better than you. That was a terrible call to action. Please.
Okay.
I'm on my knees begging you to like this video, to share this video, to subscribe to the channel. You have to do it. You have to save me from the job I have now. Get it to the point where Jay can pay me to do this so that I can do it whenever I want, constantly. I'll be able to write off everything in my life as a business expense. It will be unreal. Thank you.
Yeah, what Wayne said. And with that, real quick,
you have to really put the pathetic. You have to really put that pathetic begging, cloyingness on it.
You just gotta be like a sopping wet cat, essentially.
Yes. Save me.
Speaking of sopping wet cats, Nolly, if you're hearing this, chain fists were a valid move.